Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size?
I'm sorry?
Your dress size?
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So
did you I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that. Okay. Average looking women. Average looking woman who's older. Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son. Average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, man. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to have a podversation about Kevin Samuels, and I wanted to ask the question, are the women who are calling into his show and asking the questions, are these women really wanting advice or acceptance. You see, I don't know much about this guy, so I'm not here to do a breakdown of him or his show or his career or what he does. But apparently he's someone who's grown to be pretty popular on YouTube for being a relationship expert, I guess, self-proclaimed, but also an image consultant. Hey, as long as it's legal and people are paying you time and money and you're able to do what you're able to do and grow and prosper, then more power to you. But I know that they say sometimes tough love, you have to give it to some people who you feel like are not going to listen. And if that's his approach and he feels like that is something that works, and it is working, and I don't know, so I'm not here to say that it is or it isn't, then fine. But my question is just really about the women, because this recent situation that went viral, it's something that I just felt bad. I listened to a portion of the section of the video when this woman called in to his show, and she said, "I just love your show." Why? Some people, you might get entertained by some of the men who say things that are considered berating to women, and you see it a lot more so in the African American community, at least to my knowledge, than you see in other communities, because the way the things were being said and broken down, it makes it like relationships are based on money, and finances are extremely important, but it's about this high value man, and in order to get a high value man and a high value earner. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I definitely do believe that if you're going to be with somebody and you are prosperous and you are successful, you should be with someone who is as well, because you can do bad by yourself. Actually, you can do great by yourself. You don't need to be with somebody else to do bad. So I do believe that you should be with someone who has that in common with you. So I don't think there's anything wrong with women who are successful and who have built themselves a nice lifestyle financially, that they should have to settle for someone that is going to drag them down. And no, you may not always be in a relationship with someone who is making as much money as you as a woman. And especially in the times that we're living in. I mean, we're not in the 1940s and the 50s or even the 60s, when it was more so that the men, if you were in a relationship and definitely in a marriage, the men were more so the breadwinners, and that made them like the heads of the household. And even that term head of household is something that was based on the finances. And so it's also a tax bracket when you are filing your tax return. There is married filing separately, married filing joint, head of household, single. And honestly, the thing about the head of household thing with the taxes, it is not even something that you can file when you're married. Check that out. When you're married, you're either married filing separately or married filing jointly, but you cannot even be married and file as head of household unless you are legally separated and you are the head of your house. If you're a woman and you're a mother and you have children, then you can file head of household. So that's even the crazy thing about that as well. So the head of household is not just about the man taking over and being the one that is more financially able and more financially responsible. But I just wanted to ask the question, and I really would love to know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Do you feel that the women who call into the show, especially with this situation with this woman, who my heart actually went out to her watching this, because I could tell that it was stinging her a bit when he was making the comments about her being average. You're average at best. He's average. I mean, and I'm not even saying that as a knock, but this is the thing, guys. What average actually means is average is a multiplicity, a majority. So being average in terms of someone's looks, I mean, that's not something that people can help. You cannot help what you look like when you can't choose your parents. You can do things to enhance your beauty. You can invest in your beauty. I am a beauty specialist. I'm licensed in the field of beauty as a licensed esthetician. So I have women who invest in their beauty all the time to refresh themselves and enhance their natural beauty. So I'm all about that. But I would never say to someone, oh, you're average looking. But that's the majority of people, whether you are a male or a female. The Kardashians, they may be seen as aesthetically beautiful, but even they have spent tons of money to enhance their looks because we are not perfect. None of us are. So to say to someone that you're average at best, beauty is subjective. We see people all the time and you wonder, well, how did they catch who they got? How did they get in a relationship with this person? But that's your opinion. Just because you don't find that person to be aesthetically pleasing or aesthetically handsome or pretty doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't. And the woman, in my opinion, she's not ugly. Yeah, she had on a lot of makeup and she's got like the big eyelashes on, and of course she had, the hair extensions in her hair, but that's what she chooses to do. So to say to this woman that you're average looking at best and you just need to settle for somebody who's average when it comes to the finances, who's to say that somebody who is, I should say, a so-called high earner, like he likes to call these men, the majority of them, they are average looking too. But when you have money and you have the finances, then you're able to do more. I mean, let's look at Cardi B. She is a very high earner at this point. But if you look at her before she got to where she is now, it was definitely a struggle. And I'm not saying she was ugly, but she was average. Even with the light skin and the hair that may not be that kinky, like, some people that have the 4C and all that other stuff, but she was average looking and she was able to enhance her looks with her finances so that she could be not in that category so much anymore. And when she is not even made up that way and she loves to go live a lot, then you see what she looks like. She's gotten her teeth fixed, so that's definitely better. But there's just a lot when it comes to someone that's speaking to someone that way and saying that you're probably gonna die alone. That's really rough, and I just don't agree with that. I do believe that the women who are going to someone like this, I mean, if you want to listen to that type of stuff because you find it entertaining or it gives you a good laugh or whatever, then that's fine. But you have to know what to take in and you have to know what to leave there. And I would encourage any woman who seeks this person for either advice or acceptance to just beware of that. So I just really wanted to know what you guys think. Do you feel like the women who are calling into his show and really believing a lot of the stuff that this guy is saying, are they seeking advice or are they seeking acceptance? Because I feel like when she said that, when he asked her to rate herself from a scale of 1 to 10 and don't say you're a 7, he basically was already letting her know, you better not say anything 7 or above because you are not that. And so when she said, well, when I have myself made up and I have my makeup on and everything, then I would say I'm about a 6, but then without that, I'm about a 5. Why knock yourself like that? If nobody, this is the thing about having confidence. If you don't believe you're beautiful, if you don't believe you're attractive, if you don't believe you're worthy, whether you're a high earner like she said she is or not, nobody else is going to either. And so I just want to say to any woman who is calling into this guy's show and seeking his advice or looking for acceptance, whatever it is, you have to know your worth before anybody else will. And even if you feel like this person has the knowledge and the expertise and they can really help you, you have to really know what a person's motives are. This guy is making a lot of money from what I can tell. I don't know what his pockets look like, but just from what it appears, based off of berating women and saying you're really not worthy to be with a man who makes a lot of money because of your appearance. So what is that really saying? What is that saying about the men? And I mean, let's just face it, guys. When you look at let's look at the freaking president of the United States right now. The man is horrible looking. He's disgusting. And yeah, I'm saying it. He looks disgusting. He is obese. He's just gross looking. And his wife is Melania. Would she be with this guy if he didn't have the type of money? So what are we saying? This is an exchange of gold diggers being the women and the men being people who are, able to sell themselves out as long as you're beautiful. So you're pretty much saying that the men are willing to buy beautiful women. So where is the love? So you're not even really talking about a real genuine relationship if it's just about the money and the looks. Where is the relationship? Where is the love? I never would give anybody relationship advice, even being someone who's been married myself for 22 years. I just feel that every person is different. Every relationship is different, even if there may be some similarities. We're all individual beings. So I can't tell someone what they should do based on what I did, because not everything works for everyone. And two, even if I knew someone and they wanted to just get some advice from me, I'm more than willing to share what worked for me, but I wouldn't tell them that they should do the same thing because that's what I did. And even myself being married for 22 years to someone who is not that much older than I am, and I didn't sell myself out and neither did he buy me. I'm just basically saying that I would never sell relationship advice because I feel that that's pretty low, and you also have to question the motives of people who do that. And I'll just give you guys a quick example and then I'm going to end it. Many years ago, I went to a conference. It was supposed to be for married couples, and at the time, Juanita Bynum, and you've heard of her, I guess she's still preaching these days. I don't really know. I don't follow her. She was married to a guy. He was a pastor. His name was Thomas Weeks. They had a conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was called Teach Me How to Love You or something like that. And a friend of mine at the time, who was also married, she said, hey, my husband and I are going to this conference. Would you and your husband like to go? I didn't really care to go to the conference. We just wanted to get away for the weekend. So me and my husband went, and they were having all these different sessions at the hotel where the conference was being held at. We didn't go to a lot of the sessions. We went to a few of them, and it was kind of crazy. It was a huge money grab for them. But check this out. Not too long after that, maybe about a year after that conference was held, or maybe less, I don't really remember because it was a long time ago, it came out that they had this huge fight. It was like a physical altercation in a parking lot at a hotel somewhere in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. And Juanita Bynum, she did an interview at the time. Star Jones had a show, I believe it came on the Headline News Network, which was called HLN. And she did an interview, and she pretty much came out and stated, she was talking about the abuse incident with her now ex-husband, Thomas Weeks. And she stated that they had been separated for a long time. And when she stated she was separated, during the time she was separated, it was actually when they had held this marriage conference. And I was floored by that. And they put on a huge front, and it was all for money. So they made people believe that they were just in this beautiful, loving, happy marriage. And actually at the time they were separated. So that actually right there taught me a long time ago that I'm not going to be paying anybody for any relationship advice. You just have to be in a place where you are pretty confident in who you are. And definitely I would not be getting advice from someone who has a sketchy track record. And similar to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's been married and divorced I don't know how many times, and then he's done the movies and the books, and it's all to women. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I don't know if the women who are calling into this guy's show and following him are seeking advice or acceptance. I felt like this woman wasn't really looking for advice. I believe she was kind of looking for acceptance, and it stung her. It hurt a little bit because he like really went in and said that, yeah, she looks average and she's probably going to die alone because she's not willing to settle for someone who looks average and has an average living. And that is crazy. So I don't know. I hope she builds up some more self-esteem and confidence about herself. And I really want to know what you guys think about this situation. I just really had to speak on it because I was floored by that, and I was cringing, and I felt really bad for the young lady. I don't know what she's going to do, or if she's really taking that in, or if she was just looking for some acceptance and not really looking for advice, and this is what she got in the end. So you guys let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. I know I didn't dig into a whole lot about it, but I just really wanted to just ask that question. Are the women looking for advice or acceptance from Kevin Samuels? And what do you look for it from him?